Welcome back to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new album of Lordi. It's called Screem Writers Guild, which is coming out on the 31st of March of this year on Atomic Fire Records. Now, Mr. Lordi formed the band in 1992 in Finland, and they've done some really good albums throughout the years. Some of you may have even seen the band on the Eurovision Song Contest. That was back in 2006. The band came on stage and did the classic song Hard Rock Hallelujah, which was fantastic. Now, I have to say the costumes by Lordi are fantastic. They're really, really good. It must take them hours to put it on. But like Gwar, Gwar are another great band. Very similar in the costumes in some respect, although Gwar are more hardcore punk, thrash. Lordi are more hard rock and heavy metal. Kind of remind me a little bit of Alice Cooper in the songwriting. Now, Lordi have gone through quite a few lineup changes, and they've also had some bad experiences. The drummer, Otis, died in 2012, sadly, but he was replaced by a new drummer, Manta, who's been with the band since 2012. Now, some of you may or may not know out there that Lordi have actually wrote 17 albums in the past. Now, that says a lot about a band. It shows the strength of the band and how well they communicate together, and they're a great unity. So, when did the band release their first debut album? The first album was released in 2002. It was called Get Heavy. In 2004, the band released their second album. This was called The Monster Kinda Dream. The Apocalypse in 2006 was the band's third album. And if you didn't know, the band have released 3 movies, believe it or not. They've got The Kin in 2004, they've got Dark Floors in 2008, and Monster Man in 2014. If you haven't seen them, check them out. So the band's current lineup, we have Mr. Lordi on vocals, we have Hella on keyboards, we have Mana on drums, we have Hisai on bass, and Coney on guitar. Now, the new album cover is fantastic. It's probably the best album cover they've done, and it's based around the 1920s to the 1950s horror. So you got your Frankenstein, your Draculas, all that kind of thing. If you look at the cover, which you'll see, it'll be posted with this album review. It's a really good album cover. Graphic work is fantastic. It looked fantastic as a t-shirt. And the band are also going to be on tour very shortly with Sabaton and Baby Metal. So if you get the chance to see them live, grab one of these t-shirts, you won't be disappointed, I'm pretty sure of that. So the album contains 14 songs. So I'm going to tell you what the song titles are. We have Dead Again Jane, we have Nestiferous Horror Show, Unliving Picture Show, Unhumanoid, Thing in the Cage, Pyro Fan Club, The Bride, Lucifer Primal Evil, Scarecrow, Lycronical Ireland, In the Castle of Drody Love, SCG Awards, we have Heaven Vengeance and End Credits. So they're the song titles on the album. And so I'm going to talk to you briefly about the songs on the album, what I think they sound like, how good they are. So I'm going to open with the opening track is Dead Again Jade. Now the opening for this song is like an intro with keyboards. It kind of reminds me a little bit of something that King Diamond would do, the eeriness, but it's a really cool song, but it soon picks up. As the song just starts to build up after the intro, it kind of reminds me of something that Udo would do. It's got that Udo vibe. And also maybe a little hint of Primal Fear or Sinner. It's a great opening song indeed. It's definitely going to be a song worth checking out, and I'm pretty sure the band will do this song live. It's got a really good melodic vibe to this song, and it kind of reminds me of the early 90s. Now the next song, Nestiferous Horror Show, is just an intro that goes into the next song, Unliving Picture Show. Now this next song is pretty much basing itself on the early 1920s to the 1950s horror characters. Some fantastic vocal harmonies on this song. It's not as heavy as the first song, but it's your typical Lordi type with the keyboards and the melodic vocals. I've got to also say it's got a fantastic guitar solo, so if you're a guitar player, you're really going to enjoy this one. Now the next song is called Inhumanoid. This is a pretty cool song. It kind of reminds me of another Finnish band under the name of Tarot. Now Tarot have done some really good albums, and it features former Nightwish bassist. Now the next song is called Thing in the Cage. This is not bad. It's very commercial, and you can see why this band have been entered in the past to the Eurovision Song Contest. There's one thing about this band, they don't do really heavy songs, but they're very commercial, but they do come up with some great ideas. Now the next song is called Vampire Fan Club. This is pretty cool. It's got some catchy elements to it. Like I say, it's typical Lordi. It is commercial, but it's still a pretty good song, and it's got some catchy grooves to it. Now the next song is called The Bride. This kind of reminds me of a ballad that Udo would do. It's got that Udo vibe. Unfortunately, Udo's not doing backing vocals on this, but I guess if he had been, it would have been an interesting song. Now the next song is called Lucifer Primeval. This kind of has a Udo and a Saxon vibe to it. It's not as heavy as those bands, but if you listen to the guitar, it's got that elements of those two bands. It's well put together. Lordi's vocals are excellent as always. He's a great frontman and they're a fantastic band to watch live. Now the next song's called Scarecrow. This is kind of a mid-tempo song and it kind of reminds me of a Swedish band called Skagerrak, band from the 80s, early 90s. And I've got to say that Lordi do have elements of hard rock and some AOR, especially with the keyboards. They've got that AOR vibe. So they're not really a heavy metal band as such, but they do come out with some heavy songs at times. Now the production on this album is fantastic. I mean, they've been around for many years, so they're now to produce an album. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Lordi had something to do with the album. It's got a really solid drum sound, really clean, heavy guitar sound in places. The keyboards shine through, and there's some really good harmony vocals. So I'm going to give this album 4 out of 5. It's coming out on Atomic Fire Records at the end of March, on the 31st of March. So thanks for watching, Metalheads. Be safe, and more album reviews coming soon. Thanks for watching.